Right, this is a rather brief video about the age of retirement in Britain when you can, either as a man or as a woman, claim a state pension. And for men, for a long time, they could claim their state pension after many decades of work at 65. Women could claim their pension age 60, and even if they were just working part-time, they could still get a pension, a state pension, and they could retire. So when this law was set back in 1948, the men on average died at the age of 66. In other words, they had to work till they were 65, pay taxes into the system, not just for themselves, but for women as well, and then they had 1 year before they croaked. Their wives or women who, were spinsters and didn't bother, they could retire age 60 because of the hard work of men who worked far longer hours in far more dangerous and difficult jobs. In other words, they could sponge like fucking hypocritical, parasitical, prostitutionalized cuckoo bird bitches, shoving the male out of his fucking own nest that he built and paid for. No, they could just retire at 60. And yet, women died 5 years later than men. In other words, they got 10 years more pension. And it's starting to equalise itself out now. But before I get onto this Mail Online article detailing these wretched women that I think they call themselves WASPI. And apparently this means Women Against State Pensions Inequality. And this is in objection to the Chancellor of the Exchequer here in Britain equalising the state pension age at 66. It's called equality, and yet they call it inequality. But just a little bit of information from a document I found online, and believe me, I'm not going to waste too much time on this one. But I found a little file, the history of state pensions in Britain, whatever, and it says here, the British state pension is payable from the state pension age. The state pension age is 65 for men and was 60 for women between 1948 and April 2010. April 2010, it was criminal when it was produced in 1948, as far as I'm concerned, disgustingly sexist, when Parliament here in Britain was almost wholly male, and already then they were crawling for the block right to vote of women. Men had just come back from yet another fucking world war, and men to male politicians are just cannon fodder. I cannot stress it enough. These cunt males in Parliament. And April 2010, really? Where were the feminists between the 60s when they went rampant on themselves and 2010? No, absolutely nowhere, because they don't give a shit. They're only complaining now because all of a sudden they're having equality rammed down their throats. Anyway, before I upset myself here a little, switching over to the Mail Online article, which was just, it was yesterday. Damn it. The headline of the thing is, I'll leave links to the document I took that information from, and this article I'm about to very briefly read. I'll just do a little bit of it. Women furious at feminists Mail Online. Get it right. Feminists furious at the rise in the pension age. Interrupt the budget by mounting a noisy protest in the Commons as opposition MPs, Jeremy Corbyn and his fellow socialists, of course, they don't say that, that's what I'm saying, give them a standing ovation, for inequality, because the Labour Party, like the Conservative Party, both believe in grovelling to women, inequality, and just pissing all over men. Anyway, around 80 women out of this entire fucking country of tens and tens of millions of people, 80 women. Yeah, and this is a great big protest, right? 80 of them making a fuss, bitching about real equality. Dropping down a little, Women furious over pension inequality cut off the end of pension inequality in this Mail Online article isn't even in inverted commas. It's made as it's like a statement of fact. No, pension inequality will exist, Mail Online, until it's equalised by women having the same pension age as men. What part of 66 for men and 66 for women don't you get, you hypocrites? Around 80 members of the Women Against State Protection. Oh, fuck them, I can't be bothered. The protesters, they protest there in Parliament, whatever. The protesters were quickly escorted out by security, but were met with a standing ovation by Labour and Scottish National Party members of Parliament. Well, shame on them. How absolutely pathetic. And let me tell you guys, these feminists and Labour and the SNP, who are both sexist organisations, they're sexist parties, they are sexist against men, and they are sexist against boys. They're just openly sexist. They will never, ever, ever, ever stop, because they know that they have the block right to vote of women in the palm of their hands, and that women won't object to this because they don't give a shit, and they know that their male supporters will continue to support them because they're too fucking stupid and fucked up to stand up. Look, if they were, if the males who support these left-wing extremist parties, if they want to play computer games all day long, watch porn and wank their fucking knob off, I don't give a fuck. That's their own business between them and their dick. But if they won't stand up for their own children, their sons in particular, then fuck them. Now, I was about to go to the best rated comment on this article for the Mail Online, but I've just noticed that there's I've just scrolled down because I'm not doing any more of this article. I can't be bothered. The newest comments, there's one from a guy called Henry Brett from Cambridge, and he sums it up, as far as I'm concerned, rather well. WASPI campaigns for continued inequality. Men may pay more tax, etc., because they work longer hours, they work the dangerous death jobs, the glass cellar, and on average die around 6 years earlier than women, yet they retire 5 years later. WASPI campaigners to continue women's privilege, and is a great example of the self-centered misandry currently dominating the feminist mindset. Okay, well, that's his opinion, and pardon me if I didn't read it too fluently, but it's in very small letters and I don't have my reading glasses on. I'll switch to the top comment and I'll leave it at that. And this is from someone called Partygoer. But it was okay when they retired earlier than men at 60. Want equal rights? Then suck it up. And that has 3,565 arrows up and 504 down. The thing that bothers me most about that is that despite the fact that the vast majority of people can clearly see that what these feminists are portraying as inequality is actually equality, what bothers me is that there's a large minority, no doubt the most vocal minority, who are opposed to genuine equality. Thank you very much, and please consider subscribing.